Hello, my name is David Teller and I'm going to make for you a guitar tutorial video on how to play the lead guitar for Yours is the Kingdom by Hillsong United. I'm doing the version off God He Reigns, which is a live album. They play that song in the key of B. And you don't need a capo, but I like to capo it on the 4th fret of the guitar. And the reason is during the chorus when you're playing chords, your A string will be out of tune if you accidentally hit it without the capo, but it'll be the C sharp note, which fits in with the chords during that time, so it'll make it a lot better and it'll sound cleaner if you accidentally hit that string. So let's get going and break this down. The first part of the song that you get to play is the intro. It's a really fun riff. I usually play with lots of distortion and a little bit of delay, and you're basically playing octaves that move up the neck. The interesting thing that goes with this intro, though, is that you change chords on kind of weird places. You're strumming 16th notes, so 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and you change chords on the A's and the E's, except for the first chord. So we'll break that down in just a second. So where you want to place your fingers for this song, you want to put your index finger on the 14th fret of the A string and your ring finger down on the 16th fret of the G string, and then you want to make sure that your D string is muted. So, and then you play those together. And then you go on the A of 2, you want to move up to the 13th fret, and then on the A of 3, you move up to the 11th fret, and on the E of 4, you hit the 9th fret of the A. So the strum pattern for that song, you're going to go down, 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 up, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. So if you're counting it instead of doing a strum pattern, you're going to go 1 and 2 E and E and E, 1 and 2 E and E and E. So that's the intro riff to the song. So after you play that intro riff 4 times, the song goes into the verse. The lead guitar for verse 1 basically drops out of the song, except there's one little riff that he plays kind of midway through the song. The song makes the line, "By the power of your name," and then the lead guitar does this little riff that goes like this. What you want to do, that starts on 2 and, so and 3 and 4 is how you play that riff. And what you're doing is you're putting your middle finger down on the 10th fret of the G string, and you're hammering on to the 11th fret, and then with your index finger you're playing the 9th fret of the B, followed by the 9th fret of the E, and then with your ring finger you end the riff on the 11th fret of the B. So that, again, that's and 3 and 4. Alright, moving on to the pre-chorus of the song. This is kind of a fun little riff. I typically turn distortion off for this to just give it a nice cleaner tone. And so the guitar doesn't have too much emphasis, because for both the intro riff and that lead part in the song right there, verse 2, you kind of want the guitar to stand out, but for this pre-chorus you're kind of blending in a little bit, and so you don't want the guitar to really take over at this point, so I turn distortion off. The way you play this riff is you bar the 11th fret on the D, the G, and the B, and then you put your ring finger down on the G string on the 11th fret. So it should play these notes. And then the pattern for this song is D, G, B, D, G, B, G. And then you're going to play that pattern for all 4 chords of that song. So you start off, with this first chord shape. and then you want to slide that bar up to the 9th fret, and you want to put your pinky down on the 11th fret of the B and your ring finger down on the 11th fret of the G, and then you play that same exact pattern. And then the only change you do for the 3rd chord is you just move your index finger up to the 8th fret of the D, and then you play that same exact pattern. Sorry, I messed the pattern up there, but you get it. And then for the last chord pattern, you're kind of doing like an F chord shape, but you don't play the E string. So your ring finger is going to be on the 11th fret of the D, your middle finger is going to be on the 10th fret of the G, and your index finger is going to be on the 9th fret of the B. And then you play that chord twice. So messed up the pattern again, but again, you kind of get it. So the whole intro, or pre-chorus I should say, goes like this. And then right at the end of the pre-chorus, when he says, "You're wonderful," for the 2nd time, I turn the distortion back on, and then I just play an E chord shape and just hammer out 16th notes. Just to build into the chorus. So that's the pre-chorus. Now, for the chorus, he's playing a B to an F sharp to a C sharp is the chord progression, and then so the first measure, you're playing half a measure of the B, then you're playing half a measure of the F sharp, and then you're playing half a measure of the C sharp. Now you're doing a D power chord shape on the D string starting on the 9th fret. So you're going to want to finger that with your index finger on the 9th fret of the D, your ring finger on the 11th fret of the G, and your pinky on the 12th fret of the B. It should sound like this. You play that for half a measure, and I'll go over the strum pattern in just a second. Then for the F sharp, you move your pinky over to the 11th fret instead of the 12th fret of the B, and then you want to move your index finger up, or technically down a string, onto the A string, and then you mute the D string, still on the 9th fret. So that one should sound like this. And then the last one, the C sharp, you're playing the same final chord shape that you played in the pre-chorus, which is ring finger on the 11th fret of the D, your middle finger on the 10th fret of the G, and your index finger on the 9th fret of the B string. And then you just play that for a full measure. So altogether, your intro riff is going to sound like this. Alright, so you might have noticed on that C sharp, I just kind of throw a little hammer on from the 10th fret on that G string, and then I just hammer my pinky onto the 11th fret. You don't have to do that. I just think it adds a little bit of interest to the song. You know, when it fits in the key, and it just kind of adds a little bit of flavor to that riff. So you play that riff, and then at the end of the chorus, if you look at your chord chart, it goes B, F sharp, back to B for the very last line of the chorus. You don't go back to the B though, you go back into the intro. So that last line of the chorus is going to sound like this. And that's the chorus of the song. Then really the last part of this song that you need to know is verse 2. And I turn the distortion back off for this part of the song, just again to give it a cleaner tone, and so the guitar is not taking over for the vocals, which really should shine in the verses. This is kind of a fun little riff. You want to start off with your index finger on the 9th fret of the D, and you're going to play that twice. That's the whole riff that you're going to play during the verse. Again, it starts off with the 9th fret on your index finger, and you play that twice, and then you go down to the 11th fret of the G, and then you're going to play the 10th fret of the G back to the 11th. Now, you don't want to let the note ring. You kind of want to give it some staccato and mute it after each time you play it. So it's so it kind of has a little bit of a flair to it. So you play that once, and then you just move your index finger up to the 8th fret of the D string and play the riff again. So, and then it's the 11th fret of the D string, and you play that twice. So altogether that riff goes like this. And you play that riff 4 times through the verse before going right into the pre-chorus. Now the second time through that riff, you can add that riff that you played during the first verse, which is, you can put that in instead of, the 11th. Instead of playing that twice, you can throw that riff in there. So the second time through, you can play it like this. So again, you play that riff 4 times total for verse 2, and then you put that riff in there in the second time instead of playing the 11th fret twice. So that is verse 2 of the song, and again, that bleeds right into the pre-chorus. So, oops. So you do that right into that pre-chorus. So that's kind of a fun little riff of the song. So that's really all the basic parts of Yours is the Kingdom by Hillsong off God He Reigns. And now I'm going to play through the entire song, or should I say I'm going to attempt to play through the entire song along with it, so you can see how all those parts fit into the song together as one. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please comment if you like that, and if you'd like to see me do more videos. Thanks, and have a good day.